Well, tonight, 13 Investigates has now learned the state of Indiana is storing very personal information about millions of Hoosier children.
And it's been happening for decades, and most parents have no idea. Our senior investigative reporter Bob Siegel is about to show you how the state health department got your child's DNA and what it plans to do with that information.
As 4-year-old Theo Irvin plays in the park, his mother is about to learn something the state never told her.
I'm almost curious why they didn't share that.
I want to see another animal.
13 Investigates has discovered the state is storing Theo's most personal information inside one of those boxes. And your kid's information is probably in there too. There are hundreds of boxes with information on millions of Indiana children, all quietly locked away in a huge warehouse. The state has been doing this for decades without your knowledge and without your permission.
How do you justify that?
Do you want everyone in Indiana to know about this?
So what is it the state has from your children? It's their blood and their DNA. A few drops of blood are taken from the heel of every baby born in Indiana. It's collected on a special card and then sent here to the state's newborn screening lab. Researchers quickly test these blood spots to look for more than 50 medical disorders that could be deadly if not detected early. And parents are then told the results.
It's really to prevent bad outcomes for these children so that they have the ability to reach their full potential.
Each year, the state's newborn screening program identifies serious health problems in about 250 Indiana babies. Detected early, the problems can be treated. It's a huge success. But there's another part of the program most parents were never told about. The State Department of Health has been keeping these blood samples for decades for possible use in medical research.
Right now we have samples dating back to 1991. So there are approximately 2.25 to 2.5 million samples currently being held.
That's right, 2.5 million blood samples dating back 23 years. To put that in perspective, whether your child is a toddler or a recent college graduate, if she was born in Indiana, her blood is stored in this warehouse. And if you knew nothing about it, you're certainly not alone.
It's a surprise, a complete surprise to me. I had no idea about it.
I had no idea. I'm surprised.
No, I didn't know that.
No, I was not aware.
Parents like Sydney Blake are now learning for the first time the state of Indiana is holding onto their kids' blood for possible research projects.
As a parent, if something's going to be done with my child's blood, I definitely would like to know that. I just think that this is the kind of thing that you should disclose up front.
In medical research, you do need to get formal permission. That was not happening.
Dr. Eric Meslin is director of the IU School of Medicine's Center for Bioethics. He says collecting blood for one purpose and then warehousing it for another is not good public policy.
I think it's very legitimate for people to be concerned and to wonder what happened. I think it's a natural human reaction. You've got something of mine and I didn't know about it.
Do parents want to know that the state is keeping this information?
They really do. You need to ask permission.
So that is what the state health department is now doing. Last year, it changed its notification policy for newborn screening tests. Parents are now asked up front whether they'll allow their baby's blood to be used for research. And if they say no, the blood is no longer kept for decades, according to the state lab director.
Those are stored in the lab for 6 months, after which time we destroy them.
But that new policy applies only to newborn screenings conducted within the past year going forward. What about all the blood samples collected before that? The more than 2 million blood samples now stored in those boxes.
We don't have consent for those samples to have additional testing, so right now they're just sitting there, waiting for determination on what to do with them next.
The director of the screening lab says you shouldn't worry. Newborn blood will not be released for research without parental permission. And even if the state did have proper consent, 13 Investigates has discovered the state's massive collection of blood might be unfit for research. You see, Indiana now stores its newer blood samples in locked freezers. That helps preserve and protect the blood's DNA. But older samples, they've been kept in this big old warehouse with no temperature or humidity controls. And the state admits that could be a big problem.
Do those samples even have value anymore?
That is another discussion we've been having internally.
It's possible that those are useless.
It's possible, yes.
So, the state is holding on to millions of baby blood samples for research, but the samples might no longer be any good. And even if they are, the state doesn't have your permission to use them for research anyway. It begs the question, why are they still being kept at all?
How do you justify that?
Again, that's something that we are struggling with. It is a complex issue. We are struggling with right now to try to figure out what is the best and most appropriate thing to do.
In response to our investigation, the State Health Department is going to let you decide what happens to your child's blood sample. Do you want it kept for research, or do you want the state to destroy it? Now you get to choose. If you have children born in Indiana between 1991 and 2013, here's what to do. You can go online right now to fill out a form giving the state your instructions, or you can call the State Health Department to get the proper form sent to you. We have all this information and the links posted right now at WTHR.com. Bottom line, you can now make an informed decision, something the state admits it should have given parents the ability to do a long time ago.
You know, I think all of us here have been in this position. We all have kids in this age group, and I just assumed they took this and threw it away after they did whatever testing they were going to do.
Yeah, a lot of parents thought the same thing. Now, it is going to be worth mentioning, before you decide what to do, there's a lot to consider. Some people say simply throwing away millions of blood samples would be a tragedy, and one of those is a mom who lost her newborn daughter. We've got her story and more on the whole ethical debate. It's all posted online at WTHR.com to help you make a decision on what you want to do with your child's blood.
Yeah, all of this is very interesting, very thought-provoking.
Yeah, we've got a lot more online, a lot more information to help parents decide.
All right. Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome.